Every once in a while, a machine comes along that doesn't just feel like an upgrade, but feels like a preview of where everything is headed. And this is one of those machines. The Alienware 18 Area-51 2025 is exactly that kind of statement piece. It's not trying to be subtle, not trying to be portable in the traditional sense, and definitely not trying to compete in the thin and light category.
I feel so alive. I'm only here for the party. Trust me, we're just getting started. The sound, the vibe, big bass, that's where the heart is.
Instead, it goes in the opposite direction completely: maximum performance, maximum size, maximum ambition. And when you look at the specs, it almost feels like overkill on purpose. You're getting an 18-inch WQXGA display with a 300Hz refresh rate, Intel's Core Ultra 9275HX processor, 32GB of DDR5 memory, a 1TB high-speed SSD, and an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5080 with 16GB of GDDR7 VRAM. That combination alone already places it at the very top tier of gaming laptops in 2025. But the thing about laptops like this is that specs are only the starting point. The real story begins when you actually use it. The first impression is simple: this is a big machine. Not just physically large, but visually dominant. It takes up space on a desk the way a desktop tower would, except everything is integrated into a single chassis. Alienware didn't design this to disappear into your setup. They designed it to be the setup. Power it on, and the display immediately takes over your attention. The 18-inch panel is sharp, bright, and incredibly immersive, but the real game changer is the 300Hz refresh rate. Everything feels instantaneous. Cursor movement, window dragging, UI animations, and especially gameplay all have this level of smoothness that makes even high-end 144Hz systems feel noticeably slower in comparison. Once you get into gaming performance, this is where the hardware really separates itself from the crowd. The RTX 5080 paired with the Ultra 9275HX doesn't just run modern AAA titles at high settings, it powers through them with headroom to spare. Ray tracing enabled, ultra textures, high resolutions, everything turned up, and it still manages to maintain stable and consistent performance across long sessions. What's interesting here is not just peak performance, but sustained performance. Because with hardware this powerful, the real challenge is consistency over time. And this system is clearly built with that in mind. Even during extended loads, it manages thermals in a way that feels controlled rather than chaotic. Yes, you will hear fans under pressure. That's unavoidable at this level of performance. But instead of feeling distracting or unstable, it feels engineered. Like the system is constantly balancing itself between raw output and thermal discipline. Outside of gaming, it also holds up as a serious productivity machine. The large display gives you a lot of workspace, and the performance headroom means creative workloads like 3D rendering, video editing, and simulation work all feel significantly accelerated compared to mainstream laptops. The keyboard is full-sized and has a solid, tactile feel that makes both gaming and typing long sessions comfortable. It's not trying to be ultra-thin or overly soft, it's built for responsiveness. The trackpad is large and precise, and while most users will still pair this with a mouse, it's good enough that you don't feel forced to. On the connectivity side, everything is where it should be for a flagship machine. Wi-Fi 7 support is here, which means it's already aligned with next-generation networking standards. The port selection is practical and desktop-like, giving you flexibility for external displays, peripherals, and storage. Even the FHD webcam is noticeably more usable than what you typically get in gaming laptops, which still tend to cut corners there. But the most important question is not what it can do. It's who it's actually for. Because this is not a casual gaming laptop. It's not something you buy for light gaming, portability, or convenience. This is built for users who want to eliminate compromises entirely. Competitive gamers who need consistent high frame rates. Streamers who are pushing simultaneous workloads. Creators working with heavy timelines, large assets, and demanding software environments. And even then, it arguably goes beyond what most people actually need today. The RTX 5080 isn't just about current performance, it's about longevity. It's about being able to run future titles at high settings without immediately feeling outdated. At this point, what machines like this represent is a shift in what laptops even are. They're no longer just portable alternatives to desktops. In cases like this, they are desktops, just compressed into a single chassis that you can technically move if you need to. And that's what makes this machine interesting. Not just how powerful it is today, but what it says about where high-end computing is going next. If you're looking at absolute top-tier performance in a laptop form factor, this is very clearly one of the most extreme answers available right now. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description.